You're watching Creekbox TV.
Good evening and welcome to Creekbox TV. I'm Alan Handley. We're here on Sports Talk. I got one of my best friends, head ball coach, Coach Jim Dickerson, ex-head ball coach. Coach, 30 years, is that enough?
Well, I thought it was. Obviously it's mixed emotions, but I think the time is right, and it's been good to me and good for me, and feel good about what we've done and feel good about the way that the program is right now and the direction it's headed.
Well, Coach, you won back-to-back state titles. Was that one reason? I mean, they're talking about Tom Brady's son. All right, if he wins the big one, he's out. Did that have anything to do with your decision by winning the state this year?
I don't really think so. I think it's kind of just the opposite. And what I mean by that, it was kind of hard to let it go because we had such a good year and a fun year and successful. Right. If I'd had a lot of aggravations and all that, I think it would have been a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. But I kind of knew coming in this year, I guess the human nature side of me is, this is, in the state of Georgia, you got to do 30 years. This was the 30th year. So I was already leaning that way before the season started. But I think actually having a year where there was very little aggravation and stress made it a little tougher deal.
Man, and it's always bittersweet to go out on top, and especially back to back. That's never been done in the history of Clinch County. You've won 5 titles, 4, 10, 15, 17, 18. You've been involved in every title that the Panthers have been back in 88, 91, and of course Coach Barber's in 2002. And then man, and you've coached through all them 30 years. Doesn't seem like it's been that long. It seems like yesterday, man, you was just, and it's 15 years.
Yeah.
You get out of here with 152 wins, 44 losses, and 1 tie.
Well,
do you remember your first win? Who it was against?
Man, not only do I remember, it might have been one of the hardest because we had to make 2 trips to Dooley County. And you was right there with me.
Man,
right there with me, and it's amazing. We played till halftime. The game was called off and had to go back the next day and play it again. That was probably one of the longest, hardest earned wins ever. I mean, not in terms of the scoreboard. I think we won
50-6. I mean, that's what made it bad.
And it probably, if it had been my first game, we probably would have been satisfied with it just being a neutral game and just being canceled.
That's
but boy, we were after that first win.
I know.
And but it doesn't seem like 15 years ago. That was late August, early September 2004. In fact, Alan, I go back, it seems like yesterday, and I heard old timers say that, and here we are, but it seems like yesterday we were down in Fargo. I was a senior, you were a freshman.
I'm telling you.
And we were down there and we were initiating you guys, you freshmen.
Oh, man.
And, there was you and Brett Martin starting linebackers on the 1982 football team. And
boy, that's a long time ago.
It is. It's a flash. And now here we are, fast forward to.
Man, I can remember when Mr. Rita hired that magician right over here when y'all lived over there by Jerry J's when you were 12.
That was for my birthday at probably 12 years old. So, we always heard our mama and grandmama and them talk about it. It seemed like it was yesterday, and it'd be something 20, 30, 40 years ago. And now here we sit. So,
well, Coach, what's changed in 30 years from when you started in 88 until now? What's the biggest change?
Well, my philosophy hadn't changed a lot. Being a defensive coach, it's real simple. See man, tackle man.
That's right.
It's not real complex.
Simple math.
Simple math. See man, right. Tackle man. But really, the things that's changed has been the size of the kids.
Yeah, speed, strength.
The size back when we played in the early '80s. A 200-pound guy was a big guy.
That's right.
Nowadays, that's your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, and your running backs. Mm-hmm. And even small schools like Homerville, it's not uncommon to have, to average 260, 270 pounds man to man all the way across your front 5. That's changed. Technology, is
I can remember having to go and change tapes, man. You talking about
you
aggravating
had to meet on
morning.
Saturdays, halfway in between. Nowadays, it's the click of a button. Technology and all the advancements of technology with Huddle, just from that aspect, and it's still the same game. Like you said, the game hasn't changed that much on our level. I know it has on other levels where they're protecting the guys with the the hits, but on the Class 8 high school level, it hasn't changed that much. But the people have changed, the technology's changed. And
made it a little bit easier on you that way.
Made it a little bit easier, but I think that one thing that's changed too is I think that now everywhere you go, you run into used to if you had a decent scheme in Class A, not many people you could kind of out scheme people, but I think everybody nowadays is pretty well coached up. I think there's a lot more level playing fields. Everybody's got good coaches. The ones that that don't winds up being a short career, and I just think that the coaching on Class A has gotten a lot better through the years.
I would agree with you, Coach. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk some more football, brother. We'll be right back.
At Burt CPAs, helping small businesses with their accounting needs is our business. We have offices in Homerville, Waycross, Alma, and Baxley. Burt's professionals are ready to serve you no matter your location. We are your team for accounting, bookkeeping, tax, and financial advice. In Homerville, call firm partner Adam Toll, 912-490-7142.
Camping World of Valdosta, located in Lake Park, is your one-stop destination for all your camping needs. Stop by to see your dreams of quality time with your family become a reality. Whether it's tailgating with your air-conditioned camper, taking a trip to the mountains or beach with your family, or driving your motorhome to a faraway destination, Camping World has it all. Let us put you and your family in a camper for as little as $99 per month. And remember, when you buy a camper from Camping World of Valdosta, you receive a free Elite Good Sam membership, roadside assistance, and travel assist for 1 year.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Creek Box tonight to watch the Clinch County Panthers play. A lot of times we get caught up in wins and losses, but at the end of the day, it's all just a game. The only thing that matters in life is, do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? The Bible says that whosoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Good evening. Welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm Alan Handley. I'm here with my buddy, Coach Jim Dickerson, and we were talking about the changes that you've seen in the last 30 years, Coach. One thing that I've known you've been able to do, we hadn't changed much on defense. We've run more of a 4-2. We used to be a 50.
Right.
Didn't matter what they did. You've had to change 4-2 with the way they've run their offense. But what makes a good coach is you've adapted to changes on offense. You went, we were, when you first got the job, we were I formation offense.
Right.
Then we went to a spread. And then the athletes, you've changed to the way the athletes have changed, and now you're in the single wing, or you brought that. And a lot of people think, well, man, but that helps you on both sides of the ball, not just offense, and that's what you've seen. A lot of people talk about, well, man, Jim's won state 4. To me, one of the best coaching jobs was in 12, when you went 4-6. With the talent that we had. We had graduated 2 years in a row, about 30 kids from the 10 title, and then 11, and then we just had a group that was small, about 5 or 6 seniors, and just wasn't that athletic. And I know you remember them. Them was 4 and 6. I mean, a great group of kids, but we couldn't get over the hump, and that's when you said, hey, we've got to change something. We couldn't throw the ball, and the spread's no good if you can't throw the ball.
You're right. But being on the defensive side, and not an expert, but my philosophy, kind of is now that if a guy's going to be a good offensive coach, he needs to have a history and a background on defense because he understands what you hate to see.
I know it.
And and man, I literally hated to see a wing T style of offense. I would much rather see a spread. I mean, obviously, if they got Nick Marshall back there at quarterback, the spread, but with a you know, you're not always going to have a Nick Marshall in Class A football.
I mean, you've talked about it when we lined up and I helped you on defense a little bit. I'd heap rather them throw the ball than I had to line up toe-to-toe and run it 4 and 5
you
yards.
know,
we could blame it on the secondary.
3 or 4 things could happen, and most of them were good for the defense.
That's right.
And, but, you know, that's part of it. And, you know, in going back, like you said, in 2012, we never coached any harder than we did that year. One of the disappointments in my career, and you know, was we won state in 2010, one of the funnest, most successful seasons ever. A perfect
undefeated,
season.
15-0.
And then, you know, we gained. There was a couple of years where we only gained 2 or 3 freshmen.
That's right.
Right after that 2010, our numbers were down. We only had 3 freshmen, and you know, you could walk the hallways, and there just wasn't a lot of football players in those classes.
That's right.
And you know, and that carried over, and you know, there were some tough lean times there from 11 to 13, 14 in that area, and but that's the way, you know, Class A football is. When you only have 300-400 students, you're going to have cycles.
That's right.
And you know, but there's good kids, and like I said, they played hard, and we coached hard, and coached just as hard that year as we did in 2010 when we were.
And man, had fun.
Successful.
I mean, had fun. It was just aggravating. Didn't the win till we were in every game, at least 7 of them, and man, it was 4 and 6. But I mean, you look back, and we talked about this, and it was lucky. You know, the Class A was tough, and it's gotten tougher over the last few years.
You know, one of the best wins ever was that year we beat Seminole County.
Oh man!
You know, and I remember you going out.
That's when they were a Final Four team.
They were a Final Four, and they were a fine football team. And they come to Homeville, never beat Clinch County, and we didn't.
Rambo. That's right.
That's right, Rambo and all that bunch. And I remember, you know, he had the lead and the football down deep in his own territory, and he went for it 4th and a yard, didn't get it. And I remember you going out there because the kid got hurt on the play, and you told him, you said, you just got greedy.
He did. He had the game won.
So it was, you know, even in the down times, there's been good times, and you know, been blessed with loyal coaches that have coached their hearts out, and you know, and luckily, and being blessed, that was the only lean year we really had.
Well, Coach, what are you gonna miss? What are you gonna miss about coaching? You've done it. You know, you look. They've opened that high school. I mean, you were talking the other night. They opened it in '80, and you went to school. You graduated. You were gone about 4 years. And you've come back. You've been at that school basically since it's opened its doors. What are you gonna do?
Man, probably when I ride north on 441, I'm going to turn into that school. It's just a natural reflex.
I've done that at the rec park.
And it's just a natural thing. And, you know, I really don't know now. I'm just praying that God will open my door. And, you know, I'm not ready to sit in the rocking chair and just rock away. But right now, I don't really know. Obviously, I'm excited about the prospects of this spring and into the summer and early next fall, going fishing and
That's right.
doing what I love, and you know, and enjoying things. I don't know how my finances will hold out, so we'll kind of see.
To come home and take a nap, you know, I mean, now, you know, you'll probably get Netflix. You're gonna have to wean yourself off the TV and go fishing now. That TV will kill you now. From experience. We're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back and talk some more Panther football. We'll be right back.
Homerville Feed and Seed can provide nearly all of your farming-related needs, including seed, corn, bulk fertilizer, herbicides, insecticides, and a large variety of other farm products. Evalie and Nick want to remind you that you do not have to shop out of town to find the lowest prices. Our prices are as low or lower than any of those out-of-town companies. Come by and let the friendly staff at Homerville Feed and Seed help you select the farm products you need at the lowest prices around.
The Shack Cafe is now open in Pearson, Georgia. For the best breakfast and lunch buffets in South Georgia, check out the Shack Cafe. You can dine in, order takeout, or use our fast and efficient drive-thru. We have a wide variety of meals, sandwiches, and burgers. Oh yeah, and after breakfast and lunch at the Shack Cafe, drive on over to the Country Cabin Steakhouse for dinner. Just off the Pearson-Douglas Highway, we are known for the best steaks and seafood in South Georgia. And don't forget, the Country Cabin Steakhouse can host all of your holiday parties, events, and meals.
Farmers and Merchants Bank in Homerville is ready to meet all of your banking needs. With drive-through service, 24-hour ATM, and night depository, we provide the most efficient and service-oriented banking in the area. We are proud to be a part of the Homerville Clinch County community and support all Clinch County athletic teams in their quest to be the best. Go by and see Sam Shaw and all the team at Farmers and Merchants Bank in Homerville to discuss your banking opportunities. Go Panthers!
Come out to Lolita's for the best cold treats and hot sweets around. You'll be glad you did. Located on Highway 84 East in Homerville, Lolita invites everyone to enjoy our outdoor seating, our New Orleans-style snowballs, and fresh, mouth-watering beignets. Don't forget our tasty chili dogs. For your convenience, Lolita's is open Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come cool off or heat up at Lolita's, East Highway 84 in Homerville.
You're watching Creekbox TV.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm Alan Handley here with my buddy Coach Jim Dickerson. We're talking about 30 years of football here with Coach Dickerson. Not only coaching football, Coach, but a lot of people, and man, teachers, you couldn't have done it without the teachers at the high school. I mean, you've always been involved with the kids' grades and all that, but it's kind of, we've talked about this before. The teachers will hand out their midterm grades. It ain't no big deal. You're graded on Friday night in front of a couple thousand people. And man, that's got to be nervous in itself. You're sitting there, and I know how nervous it is. You come out there, and I know how you are. We're going to work hard. We got to make this happen. Man, them Friday nights and stuff like that, I mean, I know you're like I am. You're going to ride by and smell the cut grass. And you're gonna miss it, but man, you've accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish when you got into this 30 years ago when Coach Tyson hired you. And I even spoke to Coach Don about this Friday. He'll be the next head football coach. We kind of all knew that. He's paid his dues like you did before him. We talked about how the bar has been set. Coach Tyson set it. We started from nothing. Coach Barber took it over and took it a step higher. And now you've went up there and you've won 5 titles. It's like wanting to follow Steve Spurrier or Urban Meyer, in Class A football. And that makes Don a little nervous. I mean, it does. It would intimidate me. Right. But do you see any changes that's going to happen with anything different Coach Tyson's going to do other than what you've done? I mean,
right. Well, man, his daddy, like I said, Donald, I don't really know, I'm not a carpenter, but they say the most important part of the house is the foundation.
That's right.
Coach Tyson did all the hard work, the laying the solid foundation, building the foundation. Before him, really wasn't a football program or history to speak
That's right.
of. And he did it, and and it's carried on through the years, and Don's been a big part of it. This offense that we do is Don's really added his own flavor to it, and I'm sure that with him doing that and Winston, being the defense coordinator for the last several years, I don't see a whole lot changing.
That's right.
I think it's going to be a very smooth transition, and the biggest difference it's going to be is you're not going to have the big fat ugly cheerleader out there on the sideline.
Hey,
I won't be out there cheering for him, but I think the transition is going to be very easy.
Well, when you look at all our coaches, I mean, you was born and raised here, and we're just handing it off, and that's Clinch County's been fortunate to do that over the last 3. Lynn had a great article in the paper last week about you, being so humble and all that. We've been fortunate. You look at these other high schools, and that's what's lacking at Lanier. They just, they went through so many coaches at Atkinson. You've got to start, and Clinch County did a great job by hiring Coach Tyson back in '74 or whenever, and since then, it's been local. Well, and we're staying that way.
It's something we don't have a whole lot else to do here in Clinch County, but then what we do, we with football, we feel like we do it very well and unique in that that this year's coach staff, every one of them played for me.
That's right.
as a player outside of Coach Pope and Coach Red, Coach Ramsey.
That's right.
Every other one come in through the program, and when I was a coach and maybe not a head coach, I might have been a defense coordinator, but they all played for me. And we reach outside of Clinch County, we've with other guys that come through our program that's doing a great job in the coach field. You don't have to look any further than Blackshear, Jason Strickland.
That's right.
So, I think Coach Tyson, Coach Barber, and all the others have been a great influence, and you know, it's not only set a lot of our values, but it made us want to do that, you know.
Man, and what are you gonna miss the most, Coach? I know you started at the elementary school with the little ones, and you loved, I mean, the games. I've been over there and sat with you, and y'all would play Chicken Man or something.
Yeah, I couldn't do that now. That was great. You're right.
Dodgeball. That's back in the days when you could play dodgeball and do that. And you look, but you've been at the high school the last 15 years, and just getting up every morning and seeing the kids. I mean, I know you're gonna miss teaching just
what
as
you're
much.
gonna miss. I'm gonna miss the most is going to be the relationships.
That's right.
You know, when you're out there, you know, the only guys you're really around are your players and your coaches, and you build great relationships with both of them because you go to work. You know, when it gets to be, you know, late fall, you go to work when it's just sun's just coming up and it's after dark when you get off, and you know, and you give out, and all you do is go home and eat and lay down. So, but what you do is you build tremendous relationships and trust. Coaches with each other, and then, you know, more importantly, coaches with players. And just the relationships, you know, not as crazy about football as I once was, but I'm going to miss the relationships.
That's
you know?
right, man.
I'm going to miss the relationships and the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff.
And man, and I know because you go into Piggly Wiggly or the Swanee Swifty up here, you run into kids that you coached 14 your first year 15 years ago, and then I mean it's a 10-minute conversation.
I just wish that I would have had the foresight to write everything down, because I'm telling you, you know, the stories we built over 30 years and the funny stories, I mean, you can't make it up. It's better than any Hollywood script. Funny stories, embarrassing, but now they're funny, and you know, just all the things. I would encourage the young coach just getting into it to write all the special moments down, even if they're great embarrassments, because you know, it's amazing the tales that you build up over a 30-year career and the relationships you build.
Me and you've talked about, if you can't laugh at yourself, it's no fun at all. And I know I can laugh. I know you have, but I know I've laughed at myself.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you know, it's not kind of a job you want, because you can't have real thin skin. You got to have pretty thick skin, and you got to be able to back up and laugh at it, and you know, and that's all part of it. But I truly will. You know, I'm gonna miss the relationships, but like I said, and I say players, but with coaches, the coaches are really, you know, we compete against each other, but it's a great fraternity, a great brotherhood. Right. I got great friends. Of course, I'm laughing with you, but I'm kind of being serious. I would love to be like a liaison for, you know, a college with all my high school buddies still coaching, you know, just to give them contacts and go between. I don't know, you know.
I'm telling you. We're going to take our last break, and we'll come back and finish up here with Coach Dickerson.
Liaisons, that's my new.
Homerville Jewelers on East Dame Avenue is your headquarters for bridal and baby registry. If you're looking for that special gift for the bride and groom, or that perfect gift for the new baby, look no further. We also have a variety of diamonds, gold, sterling silver, watches, and necklaces, and can perform jewelry repair. No need to shop out of town. We can supply all of your gift and jewelry needs. Let Vicki Young and staff serve you at Homerville Jewelers, East Dame Avenue, Homerville. Mike's Golf Carts and Power Sports in Douglas has the cheapest prices in South Georgia and a huge inventory of new and used gas and electric golf carts and off-road vehicles. Mike's also has parts and accessories and proudly serves customers across the states of Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Whether you stop into our store or shop with us online, we have everything you need for Can-Am, E-Z-Go, Club Car, and Yamaha. 0% financing available for qualified customers. Mike's Golf Carts and Power Sports in Douglas, Georgia.
My name's Thomas Stevens with Wild Ass Cattle and Timber. We grind stumps and take down small parcels of timber. No job too big, too small. If we could ever help you, we sure would appreciate the business. My number is 912-282-0609. Thomas Stevens, 912-282-0609. Thank y'all.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk here on Creekbox TV. I got my buddy and the retiring head football coach, Coach Jim Dickerson. We were sitting here talking about technology. That's one of the big changes. Talking about how we used to like to go scout the teams. All the coaches would ride together. We'd usually go out to eat, and man, that's what I missed the most, like you were just saying before we went to break, Coach, is just being around each other. You know, a lot of people, not only during the week, Monday through Friday, but, you know, Sunday, you go in at 2 and you're there at about 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
you know,
like I said, them scouting weeks were fun. That used to be a week that everybody could get away from their families and their wives and the guys get together. You only had 1 or 2 a season, but you let off a little steam and had fun. And I don't know how much good we actually got out of that.
That was the best part of the playoffs to me, was going to scout that first week.
A lot of fun. But, you know, like I said, technology takes that away because, you know, now we can, and even on the sideline, you know, we got instant replay, even on our level on the sideline. So technology has really come a long way. I kind of thought, you know, 7 or 8 years ago, I said, oh, that internet, it'll be here this year and it'll be out next year.
You're like, your computer, you play solitaire and watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's right.
But, Coach, you got, what, 3 more months left of school?
4, February, March, April, May, yeah.
All right, so, I mean, it's not like you're retiring, you're going to the house this week. You're going to stay the remainder of the school year, teacher. Also, you're the head coach of the track team, right, Coach?
Head of the Clinch County Road Warriors.
Hey, you know, because we don't get no home games.
We refer to ourselves as Road Warriors because in the history of Clinch County track, there's not been a home meet. So we, you know, we are, you know, so that I got a whole season to go. You know, a whole season of track to go, and actually we could be started right now, but really we're kind of, you know, we don't really start track here because so many of your track guys and girls are playing basketball.
That's right.
So as soon as basketball's over, you give them 2 or 3 days off, and we'll do that. But you know, still got that to go, and like I said, right up until the end of May, I'll be going to school. And today was the first day at school. You know, with me not being the head coach and Don being named the head coach.
That's right.
And, you know, didn't feel any different. You know, I think that's
I'm sure
proud
some
of
the kids are disappointed that didn't want to see you go.
Well, you know, yeah, but kids are
they're
resilient.
excited about Don, not to take nothing away, but
kids
you know.
are resilient and they'll bounce back. I mean, there's been some hugs and some tears and all that kind of stuff, but you know, you don't really ever want change in your life, but the kids are more resilient than adults. They'll bounce back, and you know, coming into September won't even be a bleep on their radar screen.
Now, will the Panthers have a spring football this year?
I heard Don talk about today. We actually signed a contract to do a home and away with Pelham, and obviously they come here last year. So, you know, he was coordinating start dates for spring football with Pelham Day. I mean, he's done it work doing that kind of stuff.
So you'll still, I mean, they'll do it, but you won't be involved in none of that. At 3 o'clock, when the bell rings, you'll be able to go home and take a nap. You ain't got to worry about them 3 weeks of spring this year.
Yeah, you make that sound awfully good. That's right. That's exactly right. If the catfish, if the river's receding a little bit, we can go. Go catch us a catfish.
We'll get in plenty of fishing, Coach, I'm sure, because there's 2 things that Coach Jim Dickerson knows, and that's football being number 1 and fishing right behind it, number 2. So I've been fishing with Coach Dickerson probably 20 or 30 times over the year, and I've been probably 3 times where something hadn't happened, where he's fell out of the boat, or we've lost a tire on the trailer, or got eat up by bees, or just falling in the water.
It could be life-changing with you. It's traumatic.
Hey, well, always a good time, though, wasn't it?
Always. Well, it's a good time when you look back on it. It ain't always good in the moment.
Not at the time.
Not at the time.
When you make it home, and, you know, that's when it's good, when you get home.
You know, we had to say your 2 fishing buddies through the years have been Jim Dickerson and Harry Wayne Lloyd.
Man, yeah, does that say you know? Well, Coach, man, we love you, and man, you know, it'll never be the same, but 152, 44 and 1, Coach. 30 years, 15 as the head coach, man. We're gonna miss you, but I know we'll see you around here. We're gonna bring you back. You're gonna come watch them Panthers play. I know it. But man, we appreciate you being so humble and with your time to come up here when we ask you. You've never said no to us, and Coach, that means a lot to Creek.
Well, I got a question for you. Now we got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you forget about the Super Bowl. I was gonna ask you now, who is the running back at New England?
Michelle
Where'd he play?
at Georgia.
Now for the Rams, who's the running back?
Gurley.
Where'd he play?
At Georgia.
Nah,
now I want to ask you this. With them, I know we're probably going with them two backs.
Yeah.
Why don't Georgia have a national championship? You got two backs playing in the Super Bowl that's starting. I don't understand that, man.
Yeah. No words. No words.
Hey, I appreciate it, Coach. I love you, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.